Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Spike Drop. Now, we didn't win Toronto, but we did make it all the way to the grand final. So this week I'll be joined by the IGL of Fnatic Boaster as we reflect everything that happened in Toronto and look ahead to Split 2 as well. We've also got a very, very special guest. Yes, we will be dialing in with Siufatbb from Wolves later on in this episode, so make sure you tune in, stay for that, and let us know who else you want to see on the next episode, and enjoy. It is my honor to be joined here by the Masters Toronto runner-up, the GOAT himself, Boaster from Fnatic. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How are you?
All things considered, I'm actually doing all right.
Yeah. You feel a bit better now?
Yeah, I think second place isn't bad. My mum and everyone else in my support group was saying second place is still good.
Second place is very, very, very good. You know, a lot of people dream of qualifying for a one event, let alone a grand final. But before we talk about everything that happened in Toronto, I just wanted to, for the 10 people out there that don't know you, you know, that aren't familiar with you, I wanted to get to know you a little bit. So first of all, where does your in-game name come from? What does it mean?
In-game name is from my dad. He was helping me make an account in Warcraft. I was too young, so he just wrote Boaster. And then... what does it mean? I guess it means to brag, although I'd have to ask him if that was the intention. But yeah, I've just stuck with it.
Suits you, I think.
Yeah, I think it's quite a cute name. Sounds quite nice as well. Boaster.
Boaster, mate. Boaster.
When Pansy screams my name, Boaster with the 1K.
I was like, where are you going with that?
Not with a 5K.
It does come with a lot of, I think, personality. Like I said, it really suits you. We've seen a lot of shenanigans from you over the years. You know, I think Fnatic have your celebrations. You have a lot of flavor, you know, that comes with you and your team. So where did it all originate from? Because, you know, EMEA have not won a trophy since you shook your ass on stage in Tokyo.
Yeah, I need to shake it again to reverse the curse. Where did all the personality come from?
No, as in, like, what? Do you remember the first time you twerked on stage? How did it feel?
Honestly, felt kind of good.
Yeah.
To be fair, I wasn't doing so much twerking. It was more so my first ever walkout that included my butt was when I put a cushion down on my butt. You remember in
Iceland?
I think it was in Turkey.
Oh.
And I was like this, hello, and my butt was sticking out. But I can't remember if it was there. But it's when we were doing the individual walkouts. And after that, people like saying I've got a big juicy butt. And then I was like, I might as well shake it then. I'm not entirely sure how I ended up twerking.
Yeah. What about all of the L dance on stage, you know, some of the more improvised?
That's the modern era of Boaster, you know, always adapting, always finding ways to gain some energy. 30 years old plus now. So I got to make sure I keep my boys riled up and shooting for me. You
gotta dance on the kids.
Yeah, honestly, and also it's just like, don't know how long you're gonna do it for, so you might as well just do whatever. And I'm not really thinking when I'm doing it. I get up and I'm like, I need to dance, let's do something. And I don't have any dance moves, so I'm just like, let's emote on them.
I mean, I remember you doing that from the outset. Even in the online era, there was a famous clip of, you know, you qualify for Iceland and you twerk so hard the camera, the webcam that was in the Fnatic office got, you know, that was Pansy and Hypog as well. They were cackling.
What about their helicopter t-shirt?
Yeah, when you took your top off. But do you feel personally, because you've been to so many, you know, you're into double-digit events, global events at this point. Looking back on, you know, events like Iceland and Berlin champs before we had a crowd and so on, do you think that players have gotten more confident on that stage and want to show themselves off a bit more? Because I don't remember anyone in Iceland, maybe outside of Sen, that were kind of standing up and giving it. And now every team is standing up and giving it.
I think that's how esports goes. You know, it depends on the game and depends on the scene. But what I find is that when you're watching players, you see something that they like, that they do, and you're like, oh, I quite like that. If I make it to a stage, I want to do that. So I'm pretty sure Siufatbb's now started standing up and just giving it, come on.
The
Lysol's just doing the NPC, just stood there. Like we ended up doing that quite a few times in the series, in the event. So I think it's just someone does something, starts a trend, and then when someone else is playing on that stage, they might end up doing it as well. But it's fun, you know, like it's a bit boring if you just like screaming.
Yeah.
You've got to add some character.
I think some players, they are quite focused in on themselves, right? They're a bit more introverted. They're quite locked in. They don't want to deal with any of that noise. Have you ever, in your time of, I guess, BMing a little bit, have you ever, first question is, was so sure that you got into someone's head, like you could see it from across the stage, you're like, that guy's getting annoyed with my antics, I've got the mental advantage? And second of all, has anyone ever got into your head?
To be fair, I don't look at the enemy team ever, so I don't know if they're looking at me when I'm doing my dances. I think I caught glimpses of people, like maybe narrate, like that's the only time I've ever gotten in maybe in someone's head. I'm not entirely sure.
You were really giving it in that game.
Yeah, I was giving it a bit,
giving it.
But I don't know why. And it was, and I can't see the enemy team because my monitor's so close to my face. So when we lose rounds, I'm like, oh, nice try. And I just can't see anything anyway. But the boys are telling me like, yeah, they were standing up, they were doing this. I was like, oh, were they? I don't see any of it.
So no one's ever gotten in your head?
No, they can't get in my head. I can't see them.
That's the strat.
Yeah, shoot my body. It doesn't bother me. The only person that can get into my head is myself.
That's a great segue, because we are going to talk a little bit about Toronto now and reflect on this. It is your 4th grand final on a global stage. And I think one of the most interesting things players always talk about, it's like every tournament is different. Even if you reach 1 million grand finals, the journey is different. The grand final is different. What was it like? What was this grand final like for you?
I think the whole process leading up to the grand final was a lot of fun. Doing that lower bracket grind and believing that we can win each win that we did do, and seeing the teams get knocked out along the way, and we're still soldiering through. And then we got to the finals, and I was pretty excited for the finals. I was ready to play. And yeah, it didn't go as expected. It wasn't the best showing by me as well. But it was still fun nonetheless. The whole journey of that tournament, it's definitely something to learn from. And I know that if we get into another finals, we're not going to
squander it.
Yeah, squander it for sure. And I know what I need to do this next time. Against all odds, like whatever life throws at me, that I know how to deal with it.
Can you talk a little bit about what life threw at you? We'll start chronologically. First of all, the walkout. I don't think I've ever seen you fluff a walkout. What happened?
Well, the music's doing different counts, and the music's going off, and people are screaming at you, and then I'm trying to like, if we wanna just let us die young, dun, dun, dun. And then I did that, and then I only did one, and then I lost track of the music, and I was like, oh no, I've done it wrong, and now I can't remember where I am. And then it was over. And then, so that's one. So that's when you know something's off, because I fluffed the dance that I was doing very kind of fine in the hotel room, in my bed, or in the room that I was in.
You were doing that dance in your bed?
Oh, like when you're envisioning it in your head, and you're just like, I'm in my head watching Jungkook do it in bed, and then I'm seeing how he does it and stuff. And then on stage, I don't want to give any excuses. So I didn't feel the best, tiring schedule, waking up at, I think the biggest thing I will do next time is, if I know that we could potentially play an early game, I need to adjust my schedule way, way before that, and just play the whole event on that schedule. Because we were waking up at 9:55 or 9:45-ish to play our game, and to move to the venue around 10:55 or 11:55. I can't remember what it was. But then what happened was, so we woke up at 9:45 for our game versus G2. And then the next day, or we had a day break, I can't remember how it goes, but then we had our game versus Wolves, where we had to wake up at 8:55 to get the early shuttle to the venue, because we were the first time we were ever playing the first game of the day. And then on the finals, we had to go even earlier to do rehearsal for walkouts and rehearsal for thingy. So on the actual final day, I think I ended up waking up at 7:30.
Suffering from success.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a rough one. It was rough, and I think the tiredness got to me, and when you're tired, stressed, working hard, you're more you can succumb to stuff.
Yeah,
I'm meeting fans. Which one of you gave me whatever I got?
Oh, stop it.
No, joking.
But I think I like your attitude of, there's a lot to learn from it, even at your 4th global final, you still learn something new that you can adjust. But it is more easier said than done, right? Because you've had, on the team, you've had to deal with a lot of sickness throughout the years, with various players on various events. And luckily, you've never been sick. This is your first time. It's your turn. But the next time, if it happens, on the off chance it happens, what is the solution? How do you get yourself in a mindset of, making sure you still do well if you're feeling down?
Yeah, because I think Valorant is a team game. So even if one of you is down, the rest can still pull through if you just give 100% of whatever percentage you are feeling that in that moment. And I just watched Sunset back today, actually, because I was doing some review of it.
It's close.
And yeah, it was close. But also Forsaken was playing very well on the defense, like finding these picks and being so annoying. And then when it came to attack, we just weren't able to pull through when it came to their attack. So on our defense. So I just want to highlight that PaperX played well.
Yeah,
and
obviously, yeah.
I think even if I was feeling 100%, it would still be a really close game, and PaperX can still win. Me being a little bit off isn't going to be too dramatic. I think the calls were still fine and stuff. As for what I've learned from this event, it's just, schedule, making sure the schedule's tight, and making sure I know what I'm doing for the future events. I think generally our atmosphere is really good throughout the whole event, being in a hotel room for 3-4 weeks. So we're going to maintain our chill time and finding stuff to do together. Pickleball was the clutch for us. We were playing
played it
pickleball
with Forsaken, right?
Yeah, we also invited Forsaken for one day. That was before our Wolves game.
Mm-hmm.
But then when we went to play before our PaperX game, we didn't invite him. I didn't invite him because we're playing him the next day. I don't want to give him ammunition.
I mean, I don't think you could have stopped him. I think the form he was on in that grand final.
So I think those things are really important. Finding things to break away from the game, because honestly nothing's going to change in one day of prep. You're not going to change your whole play style. What needs to happen is you need to feel good, and the team needs to feel cohesive. And for me, it was just I'll watch some VODs back of the enemy teams, have an idea of what to do, and then just making sure we're chilling and going to bed early. And that's all the event is about. And bringing on stage fans. I was 100% win rate since lock-in.
The physical fans.
Yeah, the physical fan. I had it in lock-in. I had it in Tokyo. Didn't have it in LA.
Yeah.
And then we brought it back for this event, and we were 100% win rate after the Gen G game. I brought a fan on.
Yeah.
And then we lost against PaperX.
Well, okay, the fan must be a big buff, but I don't think there's a bigger buff than Alpha Year. I think Alpha Year, I also heard you say a couple times that one of the reasons that you felt particularly bad about losing that final is the fact that you couldn't get Alpha Year a win that he, let's be honest, bloody deserved, right?
I mean, yeah, Alpha Year was playing so well every game, wasn't he? And so even in the finals, he was just like a tank.
Yeah.
Really shooting. He was en route. He was, even when he was looking at the VLR stats, he's like, man, if I didn't play this Haven, then I'd be the MVP of this tournament. I'd be top thing. And even despite the ISO performance, he was still the top. And when going into that finals, he was shooting like an absolute machine. And so it's just really sad because those sort of games, we were actually playing pretty well. I was actually doing my job, I'd say, in terms of performance-wise up until that finals. And then all it takes is someone to have a bad game, and then it's kind of not 4v5, but it's a rough one. And because... yeah, I always say you need to have 5 players doing their role and doing their job. And I was kind of doing my job that day. I think everyone had their off moments for sure. And we could have closed out a lot. We could have maybe closed out Pearl had we known what we're doing a little bit on defense.
It wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't.
It really was not bad.
We didn't even. We practiced once against 2G Esports, and they beat us. And then we were well, we'll see what happens on the day. And I was just testing as much stuff on attack as possible just to have an idea. I was like, I think I have an idea of how to call this attack side. And then when it came to the day, Alfie was just running on Neon. And it was just I didn't call this, but that's what you need. You need players to do that when you don't really know what you're doing.
How hard is it to have these conversations with your teammates? Because you've been with Alpha Year. You've watched him grow up. Yeah, you're almost 16. Yeah, you're almost like a father figure at this point. You were 26 when he was 16. You're 30, he's 20 now, Kron's been with you all this way. I know you and Crashies are, you haven't hard launched. Actually, at this point, you have hard
No,
launched your relationship with Crashies. And then obviously Kayak also feels like he's part of this family. So how hard is it for you to have conversations like this with your boys when you feel like you let them down? And how do they respond to this?
It's not hard. I think we go into the debrief and we just talk it out together. I think the general consensus from the debrief was everyone was feeling pretty positive. Like Chronicle was like, this is the nicest I felt in a team. Even better than Gambit, you could say.
You can't say that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he said that. And I was like, oh my goodness, Cron. He's just standing up like this. Yes. It was just an aura over us. And yeah, like seeing how hard it took Crashies, like, was really saddening. In the debrief, he was really choking on some tears. Even in the debrief kind of thing, it was he was struggling to speak. And yeah, just seeing like Alfie, he was like, I would have been MVP if we won. So I just want to make sure that if we get to champions, like we do whatever we can to win it. I think all it needs is us to have a good understanding of comps on every map and a good understanding of strategy. And the good thing about Fnatic is the longer we get into the year, the more developed we are on all our maps. So we just need to make snap decision, work hard and push through.
It sounds very healthy, you know, because you see a lot of teams making roster changes pretty much instantaneously anytime something goes wrong, or maybe there's, you know, you hear rumors of players not getting along, there's infighting or coaches and so on and so forth. But it does sound like this is a very healthy environment you guys have. Yeah,
I'd say it is. I mean, yesterday I made a joke. It was we were playing on a map and I was like absolutely farming. I was just like, I'm gonna play like Forsaken and see what happens. So I was just taking fights like I was playing a ranked, and it was working for this one game. And then I ended the half on like 16-6 or 17-6, and I was saying, "Blimmin' hell, the enemy team's gonna think we kicked me and got some other controller." And then Chronicle was like, "Don't say that. It's not funny."
Oh, bless him.
You're not allowed to say that.
Kron's he takes everything very serious, in a sense that, like, you know, practice is a serious matter, you know. But that's really nice to have your boys that back you. Yeah,
I mean, it's because I was kind of bringing myself down a little bit with that comment.
And do you know what? You could, because one of the people I think had a lot of positive impact on all of us this tournament was Siufatbb. And I think that's the kind of, he wouldn't make that joke. He would be like, I'm still the best.
Yeah, I'm the best. I think that's something you sent to me recently, wasn't it? That you have to believe in yourself. And if you believe in yourself, you're more likely to pull off some big things. I still believe in the team. I believe in myself more so than I did at the start of the year. So we're ramping up.
That's good to know.
We're a Yasuo. We were a Yasuo 1 and 10, but now we're Yasuo 8 and 10.
Still a Yasuo though.
Yeah, but we've got Gragas or Malphite next to us.
Wrong game.
Yeah, that's true.
Am I gonna get in trouble for this? To be fair, Benji pulled out a Sudowoodoo card last time we showed it, and there was no
exactly.
There was no backlash.
And this is League of Legends.
Yeah.
Same as Riot.
Oh my goodness. But do you know what's more exciting than that is that we have a very special guest.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, we do. Now, for the first time here, we have a very, very special guest all the way from VCTCN. It is your favorite player's favorite player, Siufatbb. Hello, welcome.
Hello, Isu. Hello, Boaster. Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good.
Do you think that's fair for me to say that Siufatbb is all the pro players' favorite?
Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah?
I think people like him.
Is he your favorite?
He's one of them.
Yeah, how how does it make you feel, Siufatbb, to hear that the players that you meet, you know, for the first time at a big event, they all love you, you know, you're their favorite?
Before I came to Toronto, I didn't imagine the whole environment gave me a lot energy and so amazing, you know, because when I play Valorant, I became professional player, no result to support me, even my confidence. Yeah, you know, sometimes I feel so lost and feel so confused. Even I practice one day 12 hour 50 hour I think I'm so good, but no result to support me. But when I come Toronto, okay, now I know I'm the best. I'm the best. I will tell myself I'm the best.
I think you deserve that. Can you relate
I
to
need to
that
start
feeling?
telling myself I'm the best. I came back from Toronto saying I'm rubbish.
No.
No, 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 no.
Uh,
No, don't say that.
yeah.
I think there's a lot of similarities between you, Boaster, and Sufat as well. One of the things I want to touch on is for Sufat, it's his first tournament. For you, it's like 10th, 9th, 10th, so many. Do you remember your first tournament? What was it like in Iceland?
Yeah, of course. Iceland there was a lot of excitement, a lot of hype. Didn't really know what to expect. And then when we got to play on the stage, it was just about enjoying the stage and going out there and trying your best. And just so happens to be our best was getting quite far in that tournament.
Quite similar to Sufat.
It honestly is quite similar. And his personality was more like, yo, what's up? Come on then. Mine was more like, hey.
Yeah, Sufat, talk me through, your enjoyment, the stage. How important is it to be positive, to be happy, and to enjoy the stage?
Because I think if you have good fight, good mentality, even you face every challenge, everything happen to you. I think if you have good mentality and good fight, you feel so happy. I think it's so easy to face everything. I think the most important thing is you need to tell yourself, okay, everything is easy, just take it slow. But when you feel so stressful, so confused, okay, I think even you in 1v1 in the Valorant, you cannot take it because you feel so lost, you feel so confused. Yeah, so I think the most important thing is you need to be positive people and keep your mental clean and good,
Have
and you
fun.
can do everything.
Yeah, it's fun,
Yeah.
right? It is fun.
Yeah, it's meant to be fun. So, like, you better go out there and enjoy it. Otherwise, what are you doing?
There's one thing that you tweeted about after you unfortunately eliminated Wolves
Yeah.
in the lower bracket. You tweeted that the thing that left you the biggest impression was Sufat smiling at you on Ascent
Like
when
11-4.
11-4 and he was still smiling. So Sufat, why were you still smiling? You were losing 11-4. You were about to go home and you were still smiling. So what were you
He
thinking?
gave me a thumbs up.
Yeah, what were you thinking?
Wow, oh, I'm so touched because okay, I need to use English to answer, even my English is so bad. Because okay, in my team Wolf Esports documentary, after Lotus poster, after our map Lotus,
Mm.
I said when I go back to ready room, I I said, oh, I said Boaster is crazy. He's Boaster call is crazy. I'm so tired here. When I finish map 2 or map 3, I tell my teammate and my coach, I said my hair is so tired because I need to um I need to call a lot of thing to let Boaster brain so tired, I need
Ah,
to tell Boaster, okay, I will go there, I will go there, I will go there. Here have 3 people, but next round, or maybe just have 1 people. I need to do many, many things to call everything, Then I feel so tired. But okay, until Accent, I saw Boaster TP top CT and
oh,
spray transfer, tuk 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 tuk. He killed 3. Oh, then I tell my teammate, I said, oh my god, crazy TV. 然后我就 sorry, I use Chinese. Then I said, oh, so good. Yeah, I'm so impressed because when Boaster play good, I'm so happy.
oh.
I yeah, but when we against Fnatic, it's very fun for me. So even we lose, I think Fnatic deserve win.
Oh,
Thank you.
that's like you. That's how you feel against Paper X, right?
Yeah,
Very
it was.
similar.
I mean, the Paper X lost. Like, I was happy they won, but at the same time, I was sad with the performance, and then my teammates' reactions were quite saddening. So next time it'll be harder for them.
Do you think you've learned a lot from playing against Siufat and seeing his journey?
Yeah, for sure. I think it is essentially, when you're playing Valorant, the less stress that you can have, the better it is for you to perform. And so to go out there and actually not overthink too much and not put too much pressure on the winning, something that maybe G2 have, for instance, the golden era or whatever the song is. Yeah,
in the golden era.
But like they put so much pressure on themselves to win, and that adds extra stress. Whereas you got Siufatbb here just coming in, throwing some of these, throwing some of these, throwing some of these, and just ultimately
this one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like just enjoying the stage.
yeah.
And I think it just chills out the whole team. You know, allows for people to perform, because if you put a teammate in stressful environment, they're not gonna do the same as they would do if they're in a happy environment. But there's obviously stress, but try and relieve it as much as possible.
Did you feel tired against Siufat at all when, up here? Did he trick you? Did he succeed?
Yeah, I mean, the Lotus was an annoying game. Especially because it's one of my
easy for Boaster.
No. I think I think the Lotus game was a annoying one for me, because it's a map I like, and we end up losing it in a mirror comp as well. I was like, blimmin' hell. The mirror comps especially. But I think the other maps were hard too. It was just we were on pretty good form that day. We had our little break and we were ready to play.
Yeah, actually, I didn't prepare this question, but I want to ask you, Siufat, why didn't you play Sunset that day against Fnatic? Sunset was map 5, and we thought maybe you would pick Sunset.
I think for me, I think other map I have more confidence to win Fnatic, because I know how to say, when I watch Fnatic replay Sunset, compare us play style or our things, I think Fnatic will easy to beat us Sunset. I think so I have more confidence to play other map.
And winning,
because I'm in-game leader. I know I know what is our weakness. So I don't want to play Sunset.
So you have to be comfortable, right?
Yeah.
Coming to Toronto, people thought maybe you would win one game. Now you've won many games. Going into split 2 in CN, I think people are going to expect, maybe you can win all of CN, come to champions. How are you feeling about the pressure going into split 2?
Honestly, for me, I have no stress, because I think every game, every round, even every event is a new one. I will tell myself start from 0, because even I win Toronto, even I'm a Masters Toronto winner, I have no stress too, because I will tell myself attitude decides everything. If I feel stressed, I cannot win. So I think have so many people to support us now, but I'm so thankful. But yeah, I will still keep humble and stay hungry and keep focused, keep practice. Because if you practice every day, you practice so hard, yeah, then you will feel so confident and comfortable. Even you lose, never mind. Just next game you will win that. And then I tell the whole team, no stress, because Siufatbb here. Even we lose, never mind. Next game we start.
Yeah, there's always more games to play. Actually, real quick, because, you know, on the topic of now being the favorite, now everybody knows you. You have so many fans. I think it was the same for you, right? How many followers did you have before your debut, and how many followers did you gain from Iceland when you came back?
I think I had 1.5 thousand, 1.5k, and then it went to 60k. And that was crazy.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, oh my goodness, like that's crazy growth. And essentially then, like, because of our results in Iceland, we were on a path that we thought we're going to qualify for Berlin. And so we're playing these qualifiers, but I felt extra stress, extra pressure, and I didn't really know what to do with it. So I think my biggest advice to Siufatbb, even though it seems like he's kind of got it under control, is to go in there with zero expectations, reset. This tournament, like what I find with tournaments is it's a little bit right time, right place, a little bit of luck, and a little bit of talent. And if all of those things mesh together, then you can win an event. But then if one of those things is out of place, you could end up not qualifying for the next event.
I remember that. That was stressful. That everyone thought you were gonna, you know, maybe win Berlin, but you didn't. And Siufat, what about you? How many followers did you gain from Toronto? How many new fans did you gain?
In China TikTok, I gained 600k.
Oh
my
god! Yeah. Wow.
I think Twitter is 330k.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying the new fans? You like it?
Yeah, I like it. I like it because because I will watch every comment and will like, and I will like even some people said you are noob, you didn't deserve to win. Then I say thank you. If your life feels so bad today you feel so sad. Okay, never mind. You just attack me. I will say thank you. I will keep improve myself, and yeah, you know, I don't care. I don't care what they say about me.
I sent him a fan cam of himself.
Wait.
Like on TikTok, it came up on my algorithm twice now. It's just like, you know, you put a music on it like dum dum dum, and it's just like boom 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 boom. I sent it to him. It was kind of hype, to be fair.
Yeah, you love those.
I do love a fan cam.
You love the fan cam, and Boaster gave you a little bit of advice. I wondered if you could give him some advice in the gym. What does Boaster need to work on, you know, to grow, to be big muscles like you know, because in Toronto, it was you and Forsaken. You all had all the big muscles, and I think Boaster felt left out. So any gym, what's your gym routine, Siufat? What do you do in the gym?
I think my gym routine is so random. It depends on my body status. But if you want me to give advice to Boaster, I think you need to feel so okay. Your gym routine need to comfortable for yourself. But I think you need to do at least 100 push-up every day.
What's this, One Punch
push-up.
Man?
100.
Okay. Oh, you need every day, and then do some burpees, and you need to go gym 1 week, 4-day gym. And other position.
How many
day one position.
How many push-ups can you do, Siufat? Non-stop, like one time. How many?
If that day I feel so good, I'm not tired, I think I can do 60. 60. Yeah, 60.
In one go?
Yeah, what about you?
20? I think I could do 20.
Yeah?
Yeah, I could do 20.
You think?
Well, when I was doing the little circus, when I was doing push-ups,
okay,
I could do 12 times 3.
All right. So when you both make it to Paris, you want to do a push-up competition?
Yeah,
maybe?
we can do. I'll train. When I get back home today, I will eat some food, watch some Valorant, and then go to the gym.
So you're gonna be ready for Siufatbb in Paris.
Yeah, I'm gonna be pushing up all over him.
Okay.
I think if you don't want to go gym, if you practice so tired, I think you just need to keep 100 push-up every day. Trust me. You keep 1 month, 2 months, you will know what I'm talking about.
How
Okay.
long is it until champs?
A chance in September.
Is that 2 months?
Yeah. Well, you promised Siufatbb you'll do 100 push-ups every day until you see him.
I'll try.
Okay, so Siufatbb, Boaster is going to do 100 push-ups every day until he sees you. Can you tell us what's your plan? What are you going to do from now until Champions? What can we expect from you in Paris? You know, a new, better Siufatbb. What are you going to do?
100 death matches a day.
That's crazy.
Whoa. I think okay. Honestly, I think in my body no need to show anything lah. I think until Paris, I need to play more Valorant because I think with esports not so stable. I need to I need to make sure our both esports in VCT CN. I want every season, every stage. I need top 2. You know,
Yeah.
I need to stable.
Consistent.
I need to stay. Yeah, I need to consistency. Yes.
Okay, that's a
So I sorry. So I need to play better and then practice more because when I finish Masters Toronto, I feel the range, you know, the range 就是
the difference, like the differences.
yeah, the different. I'm not so good, but I will practice more.
I like that. So in Paris, we'll make a pact. You will do 100 push-ups every day, and Siufatbb will get top 3 VCTCN and top 3 Paris. Okay?
Yes.
Deal.
My voice cracked.
Deal.
Starting tomorrow.
Deal.
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
If
I'll just be there.
If I face Fnatic again, Boaster, you need to be careful.
Oh! I like this. Yeah.
Yeah. What do I say back?
Well, you're gonna have big guns by then.
Yeah, you better watch out. I won't just have guns on the stage. I'll have them in the game as well.
We'll see. But that is all the time we have, unfortunately. But thank you, Siufatbb, for joining us. We love you. We miss you. And we will see you in Paris, okay?
Good luck.
Okay.
加油.
Bye bye.
加油!
Thank you.
加油!
谢谢.
Always really nice to get Siufatbb's thoughts. I can't wait to see him play, of course, in VCTCN. And like he said, they want to be number 1. They want to be consistent. I think you guys have always been consistent. But there's definitely new factors going into Split 2. You're in a good position for champs in terms of championship points. So that's one less worry. But you do have a new map pool. So I just want to jump in straight away and talk, first of all, about Bind before we do Corrode. So Bind is coming back. How are you feeling about that? You guys have always been all right. You know, not amazing, not bad, just pretty all right on it. So are we going to see a similar face this time?
Well, we had Split, and that was like an old baby that I made, that we managed to make it back to our baby. We had Icebox, that was an old baby that we lost, but we found it again. We had Haven, that was a baby that we lost kind of a little bit, so we need to find that again. Bind was a big baby of ours.
A while ago. Yeah.
We weren't playing in kickoff, but I think we're obviously going to get back on that grind and bring it back. We have an understanding of Vice now. We have an understanding of Waylay or Teo, like all these new agents. So we're going to hopefully cook up something good for Bind and bring it back to our pool. I think the pool is quite good for us. Losing Split was hard. It was a done deal for us, but this new Corrode map as well is coming out. I think it's going to be good for us. I think the boys' overall views are like, I like this map, which is always positive. Other than that, we've not played it. Like these other teams that we're going into these events against have probably had like a bit of extra time on us. On the bright side, they are literally fighting for their spot to play in the playoffs. We're fighting for our spot to guarantee a qualification to champions. So that's going to be my main goal, is guarantee that spot and then try and get as much reps as possible to prepare us for champs. And that's going to be my goal going into season 2.
Season 2.
Split 2. Is it not season 2?
We could do season 2.
In the Valorplan, in the folder, I've called it season 2. Is it not season 2?
See, it's split 2, but it sounds like a TV show, like Squid Game, season 2.
Okay, yeah. So split 2. We're ramping up in that one, and the main focus is obviously champions. I'd say this time.
Actually, it's stage 2. Yeah,
stage
now
2.
I know it's stage 2.
So it's not even split 2.
Yeah. I would love to see the day where somehow the stars align, and then you get Fracture, Split, Icebox, Haven, all in Lotus, all in the same pool for you at the same time, because then you won't have a permaban. Because you guys always have a permaban.
That was Tokyo.
Yeah, actually, in Tokyo you had Pearl. No, you permaban Pearl.
Yeah, and we didn't have to play it because we were pretty good.
But you always have a permaban.
Yeah. Oh, you mean having no permaban?
Yeah.
Well, I think because the way we schedule it is we play 4 scrims a day. So it doesn't give us that much time to cover a 7 map pool intensively. And I think like the way I see it is that if you just had 6 maps really, really good, they carry you through. Generally, people that win events have like 3 god maps.
Yeah.
And that's all you need.
Like
and
EDG at champs.
EDG at champs. Paper X here had some god maps that they didn't lose on. They
banned your god maps.
Yeah, they banned our 2 god maps. So we were already looking a little bit sad. But that's the price you have to pay. It's just unfortunate that one of their god maps was a map that the Sunset, was a map that we were okay on, just not enough to pull through. Like I watched it back and I was like, actually, we look not bad. Just little things, but yeah, it was a rough one to watch today.
So when it comes to Corrode, again with your team, it's 2 extremes, right? When new maps come out, you're either the best in the world on that map and everyone copies your comp, or you permaban it and we don't see you play it for like a year.
Abyss.
Abyss, Pearl, Sunset as well. You know, there's a bit of a thing, but then you have the Lotus and the Fractures where everyone just still runs the stuff that you run today. Where do you think Corrode will fall here for you? I know you said the boys like it, but is this somewhere that you think you as an IGL alongside Milan and Scott that you could cook and set a standard for the rest of the leagues?
It really depends, because right now we're not aligned fully on the comp, on like what we think agents are best. Like some for instance, like the coaches might see another agent being better than what I see another agent being better. So I think that's the biggest thing, is we need to see what the data says, see what results are saying. The only person I've managed to watch right now is EDG, and they look pretty good on it.
Yeah, they
were cooking on it. Not my favorite comp, but they can make it work.
Yeah,
you know, it just suits their style. And yeah, I think that's how it's gonna go. Like, I honestly don't know. You're probably not gonna see it ASAP, Rocky. We're gonna let it cook and see what teams are doing.
See what other people do with it. You don't have to answer this question if it's like, you know, too much inside info. But which maps right now that you've shown, for example, in Toronto, which maps are your comps and which maps are the coaches' comps? And which maps are like maybe you come to a agreement?
Generally, it's like we have to agree on it. There will be some scenarios where like.
What about the Haven, the OG
the Haven,
ISO Euro stuff?
Was me. It was from me just looking at just statistics, and I was just like, oh, this comp seems to be doing all right.
Oh, Ascent, the chamber stuff.
Ascent was so the funny thing with Ascent is we came up with it collectively. I remember Milan in kickoff was saying I like chamber on Ascent. I was like, okay, let me think about it. And we didn't end up running it. We went for the Teo style instead. But when it came back to the Toronto, I was like, we need to change our comp. Teo's been nerfed. And I remember thinking, all right, chamber on LAN, 1 ping, he's going to be quite ruthless there. And I can shove him maybe on Althea and the Vice. And I was like, well, Ben, you used to like this Vice, chamber, Yoru, Omen, Initiator comp, didn't you? Because you ran it with BBL on Pearl, same as the G2 style. But Ben would say he ran it arguably better. That's what he said. But you got to back yourself.
I 100% agree with him.
And so I think it was a bit of everyone. But it did take some convincing. I can't remember where we were going to go towards, but I remember saying like, trust me, like, all right, what comp do you want on Sunset? And Ben was like, I want the Viper one. I was like, I don't like Viper that much. Like historically, I'm better with double initiators, but we can run that one if you let me run this one on Ascent, and I can cook up the attack. And it wasn't going well at the start. The attack side, but we managed to fix it up and get a good understanding. And then when it comes to LAN and stuff, everyone plays differently anyway. That allows you for the comp to thrive, which is quite funny. But it also really depends on the players. And I remember thinking, I was looking at the comp and I saw this German team. Now I can't remember what the German team's called, but they only won Ascent in their league, and they were winning it quite convincingly against all the other German teams.
So it wasn't Wadada. It wasn't the game changers.
No.
Ah, okay.
I didn't know Wadada until someone in Toronto was like, was it because of Wadada? I was like, no.
It was me. I think I asked you that. Yeah.
But no, it was. I saw it on the stats thing, and I was like, okay, that looks. I think I can make that work. It's kind of annoying, and it has double threat on defense with Yoru and Chamber, and I think, man, they have to clear so much, these teams, and most teams are running like single initiator or like a KO, but we can avoid the KO with Chamber and Yoru, and it just makes their life miserable.
And it's Kayak Alpha. Yeah.
Exactly. Put our two like people that like to give it agents, and then there's one team they'd get smashed on every other map except Ascent. And I was like, if they can make it work and they're losing to these German teams, like there's something in that source, and then we just ran it.
Oh, that's so interesting. I think people would like that lore, that OG lore. There's a lot of teams in your group that like Ascent and some of the other maps that we're seeing as well. But the interesting thing is, out of the 6 teams in your group, 4 of them have made roster changes going into going into this split. Now, in the current climate, this is something we see pretty often, across the world, in all regions of people making roster changes. So what are your thoughts on some of these teams? And I guess the fact that you have to go up against some new players again.
So I'll talk about the Ascent real quick. Ascent is normally like a Turkish map. Yeah. And normally, historically, we don't like Ascent. And when we go into the event, I was like, I'm not picking Ascent. Like, I never pick Ascent because we lose on it if we pick it. And then it got to the event, we played it against the first team, we played RRQ, and I was like, oh, it's looking all right. And Austin was like, actually, I'm thinking Ascent could be one of our good maps, And I was like, shut up, you. And then we played it again and we won it again. And he was like, what did I say? Like, you have to trust me sometimes. Yeah. And I was like, all right, we'll pick it. And then we picked it for whenever we played the next. And then, so now what I found is that EMEA is the true masters of Ascent.
I agree.
The true practice. And then going into EMEA, yes, the players have like new rosters, new substitutes and stuff. I think some of them had to be done because it's make or break for like gentle mates and like Apex, if they want to keep their spot, Apex and stuff. I don't always agree on it, but sometimes if you feel like there's something wrong, like you just have to kind of go with it. There's so many players out there waiting for their shot that you might as well, like, if there's someone good, just you have
take a chance.
You have to be a bit ruthless. Like me and my team right now, we're all chummy, good mates, good vibes, and everyone's luckily playing very well. But in the event someone wasn't playing very well consistently, then that's going to be a little bit of a on the headlights, So it needs to be done.
I mean, your scouting have always been pretty fantastic.
It's not me. It's like Kojo Milan and stuff. Mini back in the day.
Scouting. Yeah, legendary. Yeah.
To be fair, I do have some impact. I say this guy banged me in deathmatch. Yeah. Like, we should keep an eye on him for the future. What else did I say? When I'm trialing them, I'm like, nah, or yeah. But generally, like, they already have the solution.
Were you like because I know, for example, the famous stories of like Durka trialing, and it was like funny. Instant, like, this guy's the greatest player you've ever played with, kind of vibe, instantaneously.
It was Durka and Magnum together.
Did Magnum did well too, right?
The first try, they both did well. Yeah. But Durka was like 30 bomb on the first map on Icebox, and I was like, I remember I was talking to me, I was like, oh, bloody hell, like, what have we got ourselves here? We got ourselves a machine. Funny enough, Kayak did the same.
I was going to ask you about Kayak.
Yeah, he did the same. But then we also, because Alfie wanted to play Duelist, we put Alfie on the Duelist, and Kayak had to play like Cypher or Gecko.
Lord.
No, I think he had to play Killjoy or Cypher on Sunset, and he had
Poor
the
guy.
worst time on B site. It's like, I'm not playing that ever again. I only stick to Duelist.
Did Alpha do well at least?
He was doing well,
Yeah,
to be
just
fair.
poor Kayak.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kayak, was it an instantaneous for you?
Yeah, I think so. I think we, by then, because Kayak was already playing the Ascension, and he had to obviously win the Ascension, we'd already done a lot of trials before then of all the other duelists. So we're kind of just waiting to see if Kayak was any good or not. And I was watching him in Ascension. I could see his aim was good. His decision making and like positioning sometimes wasn't always the best. Where I thought like he shouldn't be repeating that, or he's going to the wrong spots. So I was like, this guy can shoot. Like all we have to do is put him in the right spots, and he'll thrive. So and that's what strategy is all about, and that's what like IGLs and coaches' jobs are. And I think Milan and Ben do a good job on that as well.
I mean, he's really shown himself to be probably the most consistent player. I don't think he's gone negative in a series since kickoff.
Yeah, I can't remember. I remember Kojo was telling me some crazy stat like that. Like he's always above 1 KD or whatnot. Yeah, I think he's an amazing player, and more importantly, like he's for a star player, and for like a teammate, he's pretty like chill.
No ego.
No, because you hear stories about like some players with egos or like being problematic and stuff. But he's generally all right. Like
sweet kid.
Yeah, he's just a nice kid. I think his thing is like if he doesn't get into the game, then he takes a while to get him into the game.
But then he wins the game for you, like against Navi.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that was a big growth for him, because I think previous Kirk would have just kept riding that wave of like nothingness kind of thing, like not getting much value. But against that Navi game, he showed that even when he was on 2 kills, he can still make impact and get us over the finish line. And I think that was a big learning process for him. And I think that's what's really fun about competing, is that I always say the lock-in game was the game where we believed that we could do any comeback, and we had full trust in our teammates after that comeback against Loud. And what we found was whenever we were playing in that in what was the thing, not split 2, it was stage 2
Mm-hmm.
When we got back from lock-in, or stage 1, we made so many comebacks, and I think it was because we just believed in our, like, it was almost like, oh, we're 9-3 down, finally we got a game. Like it was like that.
Your fans don't think so, but
I think it's quite entertaining.
Yeah. Oh, it's Heart Attack City.
But I think because we still got the core of me, Alfia, and Kron, we're able to still believe in those comebacks, and then bring Kayak and Crashies in, and they're unfazed as well. And I think we have a really nice little team.
Did you trial Crashies?
No. We
took a leap of faith.
Yeah, pretty much. We unfortunately Leo we thought he'd be able to play, because he played 1 trial scrim, but then the next day he wasn't able to get out of bed, and it really affected him. So we're like, oh no, like I guess because the doctors were saying like Leo could be back in action in the off season, and we're like, oh nice, okay, he's coming back. And then when he wasn't, a lot of players were taken up, and there were some that were still there, but we saw Crashies was there, and we had good references about him. And then I was just like, well, I don't want a average or above average initiator. I want like
experience.
Like if Crashies is the same level as these other initiators, I'd rather have his experience. He's won trophies, and that means something in my head. And so we grabbed him in. And then, honestly, he didn't start very well in kickoff. I was a little bit concerned.
Yeah.
But then that's what trust is about. None of us really did. Yeah. And then when he came back to split to stage one, he had a pop-off game in Fracture against Navi where he's just shooting everyone. And I think the biggest thing about Crashies is he's like a Yasuo as well.
For goodness sake.
Yeah, because he ramped up really nicely. I think he's so disciplined and such a nice teammate. He makes everyone else thrive. But also, if he's feeling the energy within the room, he also gets better. So you're seeing like since January to now, you're seeing such a progression from Crashies. And he's now, like all those other initiators he was lined up with in the EU, he's now surpassed them in terms of also individual value, but also his experience as well was already overlapped them anyway. So I think that's the biggest thing for Crashies is he just managed to show his true potential.
I mean, he won his first trophy domestically with you guys, which is crazy. Like, Crashies of all people. FNS has never won domestically. That's insane.
I didn't even know that.
That is crazy.
Said it.
Yeah. So is he gonna go for the Michael Bublé? Because you've had the pleasure and the fortune to win back to back in EMEA a couple times. What realistically do you think you guys can do it? And my goodness, I can't imagine what that would mean to Crashies.
I think we got to be strategical here, because if we get to playoffs, that means we've probably qualified for champions. And so I need to view playoffs as like, yeah, we could win another domestic trophy, which is great, but I need to view playoffs as like reps, and like for us to like get extra reps on maps, get more content, more footage, and like really make sure that when we get into champs, like we're ready. Because once you're at champs, there's only micro changes, like barely anything you do will have a substantial impact. For instance, like us on Pearl, we played one scrim on Pearl and that was it. Like we needed more reps if we actually wanted to be sufficient on defense, and we didn't have enough time. And that's what happens when you get to these international events. Time is not your friend. Like you don't have enough time. You go from one game to the other. You go from VOD footage to another VOD footage. You're just looking at enemy teams like, oh, this is actually quite good, but you're not there to take it, because you're just there to anti it and be like, okay, I need to like prepare for this. So yeah, I mean, we could go for a Michael Bublé, but we can
do it for Crashies.
We do it for Crashies, but yeah. I mean, that's what we'll do, but I'll take the reps as well. And
you get more reps if you win, if you win all the way.
But I'm not going to treat it as if I was at an international event, like watching all the enemies' VODs. I'm just going to, Milan and Ben can go VOD anti-strat them. I've done my fair share anti-stratting back when it was just me and Minnie, and we had to tank it like a absolute unit together. Yeah. Now we've got some boys helping us out now.
Yeah, some good boys, some tall boys.
They are.
Yeah,
tall.
They bring the average up on your team.
And me too. If I sort out my posture. See?
Me when I lie. This kind of brings me to $1 million question, which is, inevitably when you reach the ripe old age of 30, when you've won as much as you have, maybe even like people compare you to Carrigan a lot in CS. He's still kicking, he's still out here winning and so on. Where are you at mentally when it comes to, the whole retirement word, and how do you I'm trying to ask this without being rude, but people, they always come for your head. They're always like, it's time for you to retire. And I know you don't listen to what, these trolls say online. But if you look around you, people who are like FNS, he's retired, even Tens, Sassy, they're sort of retiring now. So how are you feeling about all of this?
There are some times where like, I'm like, oh, I'm so tired of playing this game. But then there's also times where I'm like, I'm having a lot of fun right now and we're riding a wave, and there's only so many, like, once you're out, you're out. It's really hard to get back in. And once you're at the top, it's easier to stay at the top. So a wise man would say, you better just keep riding the wave until it eventually will crash. And so that's what I'm kind of doing. If I end, like, whatever happens, happens. But as long as I believe in myself and I put the energy in, I put the effort in, that's how you know that you still want to play the game. That's what Austin said to me, is like, I can tell that you still want to win and you still want to play the game, is because I see you working and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's true. Yeah, you bring some wise words there for an American. No, I'm joking.
Goodness sake.
Yeah, so I don't think we'll be seeing it soon, unless like I become really bad. But I don't think I can become bad, because it's a discipline thing. Like if I get disciplined and I work hard, you can always bounce back to the top. Fun fact, I used to play ECA, the queues with Carrigan.
Did
when
you?
I was like a nobody UK person, but I was like top of RWS. And if you get top 3, the person who places first and second get a mouse. And back then I was like, oh, I need a mouse because I can't. It's too expensive to buy one. Yeah. So I used to grind the ECA, and then I was like first and Carrigan was second, or I was second and Carrigan was first. He was like, yo, you want a duo? And then and then we jury queued a few times.
Was he nice?
And I was like, yeah, it was nice, but I was like, you want to add me to Steam, but you never added me to Steam.
Oh, damn. If we see him
Yeah.
again, I'll make sure he knows.
He did remember me though. I think I saw him once. I can't remember when. He was like, yeah, we used to play together. I was like, oh my goodness, he remembers. I think that was when I went to that Face It UK, the tournament in the UK in the Wembley Arena. He was there.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's where I met him again.
Oh, the major.
Angel was there too. I looked through the footage and I was like, wait, I was filming Angel and Hellraisers. How funny is that?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You have a deep lore here.
Yeah.
I mean, you are 30. You've been around for a
Yeah.
while, you know, in the league scene as well, in CS and so on and so forth. And speaking of, you know, old rivalries and people that you played against a lot of times, Sadak will be your first opponent. You're playing
KC.
against KC. He's such a delight as well. And every time I hear people talk about his retirement, it angers me because I want him to play as long as physically possible. What is your relationship like with Sadak, and how do you think this KC differs to the Loud that you're so used to playing against?
I think he reached out to me after the loss in the final, so I thought that was very cute of him. I know Arves did, and I love Arves. He's in KC as well. And
You
Zeish
love
did
him,
as well.
damn.
Yeah, Arves is such a nice kid. He's such a nice kid. I remember because he used to be our substitute when he was playing in Rad. We used to have him as a substitute in Fnatic just in case one of us got ill. And so he had to fill in some games in scrims and stuff.
Was there ever a chance of him joining?
I mean, we did. We especially when we were doing trials for initiators this year. He was like second, but not for initiator. It was kayak. So we only needed one player. We thought so. We were either going to put Alfia to duelist and we take an initiator, or we have a duelist and find an initiator. And so we got kayak, and then we thought we were done. And then by then he signed up to KC ASAP Rocky. But he was quite high up on the list because he was very keen, good communication and good shooting, and we know what he's like.
Yeah.
And I think it's nice. What you want in a player is someone passionate. But going to Sadak, I think he's very nice. When I have spoken to him, it's very brief normally the conversations, but he's a nice guy, and I think he's a good IGL.
You're very different.
They
IGLs.
love cooking the harbour though. Yeah, they have an obsession with harbour in KC, and now I'm pretty sure they've been grinding that corrode map, and I think they've probably cooked up some harbour for that, knowing them. Like if there's a way to get harbour in, they're gonna get it in. I'm just waiting for the harbour buff that's gonna allow Sadak and KC to be like,
yeah. Then they're winning everything.
The old strat of like throwing the cove and Euro flashing through it. That's their strat on everything.
People still use the stuff that he comes up with. It's very similar to you, like the Viper on Haven. You know, even at Toronto, I'm like, that's literally Sadak's war and all of this stuff still. But you are very different though in terms of your play style, and it's always a good match. Every time you play against him, you know, it's always entertaining for the audience. So how are you feeling about this one?
I haven't played him since he's been in KC, right?
I don't think you
No,
have.
I haven't, because they joined this year. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think...
Did you at kickoff?
There'll be... No, I don't think we did.
Are you sure?
Or maybe I know we scrimmed them loads.
Yeah.
I don't think we did. I just remember they were playing Harbour and Abyss.
You yap, I check.
Yeah, you check. But yeah, I think it's going to be a fun game. I think their team is pretty good. They qualified for the EWC, didn't they? Yeah, I think they're pretty good.
Oh no, you haven't played them.
I haven't played them.
You haven't played them. You're right.
No, yeah. So I think Sadak and his teams generally do well. I do miss the days where he was like in Brazil though, and like there was always like one Brazilian representative team, and it was his team, whether it was Vikings or Loud.
Yeah.
So I do miss that because it would be nice to get Brazil back on track. To be in the top. They qualified, but they didn't really have the best time.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, but maybe they can bounce back for the next stage. But yeah.
Last but not least, I want to play a quick game of meta or meh. I'm going to give you a topic, and all you have to do is tell me if you think it's meta or it's just meh. And give me a reason.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to start strong. ISO.
Meh.
Why?
I mean, we were playing him on Haven, but since they nerfed his little shield where he gets slowed and stuff when they get rid of the shield, it's quite annoying for Alfia. He's not enjoying it right now. And so I just think it's hard to pull him off now in pro play. There's that one team, Envy, in Americas, but they're playing in Tier 2 EMEA, and so they just run it down. with him.
Okay. Well, I can't wait to see your Haven stuff if ISO is meh. Next one, Hot Pot.
Oh, meta.
I don't know what it is, but every time you guys go to anywhere, you as a team always go to Hot Pot.
Gotta find a Heidi Lau.
Yeah.
If there is one. There's none in Berlin, so it's like a treat. And I love the cages. Put all the food in the cages and just relax.
Hopefully there's one in Paris if you guys make it, you know. I'm sure Alpha will find one because he loves the Malaban. He loves that. All right, cats.
Meta. We have cats, so I can't.
Who's we?
Me. I have cats. I have 2 cats.
Yeah, okay.
No, you have cats.
I also have 2 cats. Yeah, my cats are very cute. It's always
pain in their bum for me.
Yeah.
Cleaning the litter, clipping their nails, feeding them.
But it's still meta.
Yeah, it's still meta.
Do you know who also has 2 cats? Siufatbb.
Yeah.
Siufatbb has 2 cats.
It's an IGL.
Yeah, it's and FNS has 2 cats.
Yeah, there we go.
That's the mark of a goated IGL. Is that what it is? All right, cats as in Kiko and Nats.
Huh?
Cats as in Kiko and Nats.
Them 2 together?
Yeah, meta or meta.
I mean, it's pretty meta, no? They're 2 good players. Yeah, I think that's pretty meta.
Yeah?
I'm not going to say what I was going to say. I was going to say, like, if Nats was playing instead of me, would they do better or not?
Oh,
and
my
I was like
goodness.
coaching them.
Oh, okay. So that's the super team. You reunite Kron and Nats and you're the coach.
Yeah, I just don't know. I have to black myself that I'm better than Nats.
Oh.
But it's a different better. He's obviously individually, he plays a lot more ranked than me, it seems.
Yeah, his morning streams are pretty goated.
He's got that discipline. But when I do my 100 press-ups a day,
yeah,
I'm going to be back to giving it.
Gonna catch up. How, you know Kiko? You know, he's from the UK. There's not a lot of us.
Yeah, there's not a lot of players, that's for sure. He's pretty good. He's pretty shy when I've spoken to him, but he seems quite nice.
Yeah, nice
That's all
kid.
I can say, but he shoots well. I mean, him swapping to controller was the best decision he could make, I think.
Yeah, he's very, very good. I look forward to the rematch, Liquid Fnatic rematch. Brashies.
Brashy, oh, that's the meta, isn't it? Anyone that says meh is a hater. They're the hate watcher, like FNS.
Do you know what? When we were in Toronto, he loves it really.
I know. When
really.
I saw him, he was just like, "Give me a kiss." I was like, "Get off me! I'm with Crashies." No, I didn't. He didn't actually.
My goodness, where was I? I missed it all. But when we were in Toronto, I remember a couple of the people behind the scenes, you know, that work at global events that probably saw your antics from Americas or Pacific, came up to me and they were like, it's not for the cameras. They were like, they're just like that. They saw you hanging around in the makeup room and doing little photo shoots and stuff. They're like, I can't believe Brashies is just like that.
Yeah, I mean, we're
organically.
just mates, innit?
Yeah.
We're just close mates.
And they were friends.
Not short-lived, very quickly became friendly.
Yeah. Was there a point in particular in your friendship that, you know, brought you close together?
Not sure really. I think he's just a very nice, likable person. So he's come out of his shell a bit, so he's a bit more zestier now.
You're all very whimsical. Even Kron was dancing on stage.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Kron's got this thing where we have this percentage of the day where like what percentage you're all feeling. And if Kron's the highest percent, which he normally is, he says like 99.9 or 103% or 89. Normally I'm like 70, 65, 75, around there. And we're like, all right, show the dance then, Kron. And he goes like this. He has to do it every time.
I can't believe it.
So funny.
You're just all whimsies. And the last one, since, you know, we had the 5-year anniversary of Valorant, but also at the same time, it was the 10-year anniversary of Hamilton.
Oh.
Is Hamilton meta or meh?
I think he's pretty meta. Hamilton carried me through my days of working in a supermarket, 4 a.m. till 8 a.m. doing people's online shopping. So I think it carried me through that. I'm not throwing away my shot. It's a classic staple of Valorant Boaster.
Can we get a bar?
I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. Ayo, I'm just like my country. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot. I'm gonna get a scholarship to King's College. No, I'm joking.
I was kind of vibing.
I
was happy to just sit here forever and just you can go through the whole musical of Hamilton. A great musical. Yeah. I recommend. Right? We recommend. Definitely recommend.
It's fun. And it's quite modern.
Yeah, and
even though it's 10 years old.
I also recommend all of you at home to first of all give Boaster a big thank you for joining us this week, and second of all, make sure to tune in to VCT EMEA
Alright.
Stage 2. It is starting very, very soon.
I'm just
and-
referencing for before 100 press ups.
Okay, we can take a reference photo. Yeah, make sure you tune into VCT EMEA. Come and watch Fnatic, all of the other teams as well. Also, maybe have a little peek in VCT CN, see how Siufatbb is doing since he so graciously came onto our show. But other than that, thank you to you guys at home for watching. We love your comments, your suggestions, your support. Let me know who else you want to see on the podcast. Who do you want to see on the podcast?
Yeah, I know Nats was on it, right?
Yeah.
I want to see. I don't know. Toast.
Disguised toes. All right, I'll see what we can do to make it happen.
I can't think of any players right now.
You could have said Aves.
Aves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can say Aves.
Yeah, Aves and Disguised Toast.
There
What
you
a
go.
duo. Let's make that happen. But yeah, thank you very much.
No worries, thank you. Thank you for having me. See you later, alligator.